Yeah, I mean, they've scored goals in their qualification, like pre-tournament, and they've got some threats. You know, James for them is probably a key threat. Scored a lot of goals. But what I would say, and I've seen things in the media around them playing their style and, you know, possession and that sort of thing. So I think they'll be well organised, but they'll be an attacking transition threat. They're very physical, they're direct in behind. So we can't overly get too carried away. And we've got to respect the opposition that's in front of us. And they've got a very good coach, former professional player. So we won't take any team lightly. But I think they'll be organised, probably a little bit similar to a Nigeria type. And we've had some good experiences and learnings. Even Korea gave us some great learnings to move forward with. So tough game, but I think if we get our flow and we get the first goal, I think things can really flow from there.
We've always seen, you know, Trinidad as a powerful, fast, transition-based team. They have some, you know, some good players in their attack, some really important players that we'll have to shut down in this transition in order to dominate the game, like you said. But I think we have confidence that we'll have a lot of the ball. We have, you know, the ability to keep the ball, be on the ball, be confident on the ball. And I think that's something we really want to go towards in this tournament. You know, these Concacaf teams pose a lot of different styles than what we've seen probably in the last year. But I'm really looking forward to playing against them. They gave us a good game back in qualifying. Like you said, I think 6 years ago was the last time we played them. And, you know, the whole region, the whole confederation has gotten so much better. So, you know, we've obviously done our research on them, and to see how CONCACAF is growing and the steps that the teams are taking has been really great. But it should be a good game. It'll be a good game for us as an opener in the tournament. Hopefully we can be very dominant, like you said, and get the tournament off to a good start.
You've seen tournaments, it's all about flow and growing every game and improving. And, you know, that flow happened post-Korea. And I think now we're on that roll and we need to get that rhythm. There'll be times it won't be perfect. You know, it'll be, as you know, as you get into a tournament, often teams and the best teams will grow and grow and grow and deliver when it really matters. And that's what this team can do. So I think that confidence and flow in this group stage will be critical for us, whilst not taking, you know, the opposition lightly on dealing with any threats. And that's what this team's proven to do very, very well. So I think when you've got a world-class backline at dealing with that, it gives the freedom to the front line to go and do what they can do. And like I say, what I've seen over the last 3 days is a more sharpened version of what I know this team can be, more like, you know, the Arnold Clark Cup, like that rhythm and flow that we start to show. And you think about the second half of the Spain game, that's where I want this team to be and where I know they can be again as they grow through a tournament, which is what they did in February.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity if we're successful, for sure. I think it also, then, you know, there's a lot of pressure to win the tournament because that's the only way you can for sure qualify for both. But I do think, obviously due to COVID and things like that, this was the direction that CONCACAF wanted to go in. So a great opportunity to win the tournament and kind of solidify those two things for us. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think now we've got the partnerships. I think that was a critical part post South Korea. We had a lot of players who were coming back from season, and now we've just really put some partnerships together for 3 days and are focused on us. And I think that's the most important thing. We know we create more chances than we have. And yes, there's a clinical part of it, but I think if we just do us better than any other team does them, I'm really comfortable that this team, you know, on their day with the right mindset, the right approach, can go and do exactly what the talent in the group represents. And I think I've seen that over the last 3 days now. We feel ready. We can't wait for that ball to roll. So yeah, I think, you know, there's a narrative around the goals. I trust that if we stick to our process and our identity and what we're chasing, the goals will come. I've got no doubt about that with the right people on the pitch and the right partnerships.
You know, it's not a secret to anyone that we're having trouble scoring right now, but these games will present us with the opportunity to, like I said, have to find different ways to score, have multiple goal scorers. And I think that that's something that I'm really excited about with this group. It's a group of forwards that have been together for quite some time. You have a slightly new face in the group with Chloe Lacasse, who brings a lot of a different style of play to some of the other forwards we have. So there's definitely no lack of talent in the forward group, especially, you know, with our wingers and two options at the 9, but we also have our midfield group who's super positive as well. So I think, you know, we can look all day long and say we've struggled to score, or we can look forward and say we have what it takes. We have the ability, and we just need to, you know, start this game off strong, put a couple goals in the back of the net, and really build that confidence, like you said, going into the remainder of the tournament.
Yeah, I think we've made gains, and we're measuring them gains as we go. I think we were all a little bit disappointed with the Korea game, if we're all being fair and honest, but I think it was probably a reflection of that week before, and partnerships, selections. It was a very busy camp, and we probably got what we expected on the pitch, and some key players unavailable. But at the same time, I feel very, very good. I think we've had a really good spell in Miami. The training pitch was lively. There was lots of goals scored. But I think this group will take every game as it comes. And I think we have to, I know that when it really matters, this group can rise to anything. And I'm really, really excited. I just want the ball to roll on game one. And we'll climb, and we'll grow through the tournament as you do. As partnerships develop, we get used to the heat and that style of a tournament. But I am excited to see what performances we can put out.
I think that we've made significant progress probably in our build-up, our attacking side of play. Everybody knows we've always been a defensive powerhouse. And I think when you look back at the Olympic Games, we weren't scoring a whole lot of goals, but we were really difficult to score on. And then we look forward to, the game against New Zealand, where we're putting five goals in, and we had 3 really difficult games against top tier opponents in the tournament in England in February. Again, not a whole lot of goals, but a lot of positives to take forward in the way we're playing with the ball. And I think when we look at this tournament specifically, we have to be okay with having the ball and be happy to have the ball in some of these games. So I'm really looking forward to continuing to build on what we've gained in the attack probably in the last year, and just what that tournament at the Olympics did for our confidence moving forward was definitely probably the most important thing for us. So I think just, finding multiple scoring threats, finding different ways to score is probably our biggest challenge right now. So I'm looking forward to taking that on.
I think, Sync's doing well. I think we've managed well and took no risks to this point. And it'll just be a case of, over the course of the group stage, having Christine ready for when it really matters. And I think that's the important part, is we manage, what the next 3 games look like for Christine to get flow. And I think that'll be really important. But at the same time, having a freshness for when it gets really tough towards the back end of the tournament. But that doesn't mean to say we can take any games lightly, and we need Christine ready. So we've done everything we can. And, I'm pleased to say that people will see Christine in this first game.
I take a lot of pride in being a leader on this team in the respect that I am. I think what's so special about our team is we are a team full of leaders that lead in different ways. And I think that's what this team's been so desperate for over the last, 4 or 5 years, is for those of us that have been part of the program now for some time to kind of step into new roles and have a bigger responsibility, like you said, on and off the field. I take my responsibility on the field very seriously. I feel like I have a big role to play in creating things in the attack for us, and being, a dominant player, someone that sees significant minutes for this team. And I'm very grateful for that. And I hope to have a very significant impact on this tournament. And then I think probably, I've taken more of a role off the pitch on this team in the last year or so. And I'm just really grateful to be surrounded by people that have, shared vision with me, and we're going towards some really amazing things in Canada soccer. And I'm just really grateful to be in the role that I'm in, and continue to hope to continue to help lead this team to a World Cup.
I'm thrilled for Adriana, because, this is probably the height of her career. It's the sharpest I've ever seen her. She's had 2 major injuries, fought back, was critical for us in the Olympics. You think of that Team GB goal. And I think going to a club like Manchester United, that scrutiny, that expectation is only going to push Adriana to where she really wants to be come the World Cup and the Olympic Games. So thrilled. I think the team are thrilled for her. It's a big move. She's excited. You can see that look in her eyes, exactly like you can with a Khadisha and players that have made some big moves. So, when you walk out on a pitch and you've got players playing for top clubs week in, week out, as a teammate and as a coach, it only fills you with confidence.
Super happy and super proud for her. I think it's a great move for her. I think she'll be challenged in a different way at United than she was at West Ham. They're obviously a top contender in the WSL, which just continues to grow every single year. So really, really happy for her. And I think she's going to do so well there. And then whenever we have players move into big clubs, good teams playing with world-class players, day in and day out, I selfishly get excited about that for us, because she's going to continue to get better and come into our environment and continue to provide like she does. And even more so now being in an environment like that. So Khadijah's moved to Chelsea, not a surprising one, one of the top clubs, one of the top defenders in the world. So it's really great to see Canadians playing in top leagues all over the world. And it just means that our team's better and better every year. So I'm super happy for Dree and can't wait to see her be super successful in Manchester United.